Coming to you live, Conversation with Mr. Body here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And even though, right, I'm in the tri-state area, I'm in New Jersey, even though it is damp outside and it's raining on and off, right, it is still an amazing, great, and beautiful day. Why? Because we have the ability to be here and to make a difference in our own lives and probably touch the lives of somebody else, right? But with that being said, today's topic of conversation is going to be focused on, you know what, that fit and that flex, right? Because today is Fit Friday, Flex Friday, Fun Friday, Friday, right, for a lot of you, because it's like always cheers to the weekend and can't wait for the weekend to get here, right? And so we're going to be talking about how to get rid of the back fat, right? Listen, that is one of the areas that I get asked about the most, right? That's probably, you know, in the top 3 areas that most people are looking to focus on. They're like, listen, I got to get rid of my back fat. I got to get rid of them rolls in my back and all this other stuff. So I said, you know what, listen, let me talk about this today, right? To give you some effective strategies, right? To be efficient in creating your new results, right? Because look, if you're not doing the right things, it's going to be a challenge for you to get rid of this back fat. And so I'm going to give you some of those right things, right? And so the first thing, you know what? Got to start off with better nutritional habits. Listen, you don't want to eat the extra fatty foods, the extra greasy foods, the extra fried foods, and all of that stuff, because guess what? That is adding to the body fat that you have that you're trying to get rid of. So you got to adjust your nutritional habits and cut back on those things. That's going to help you when it comes to you reducing your back fat, right? Now that that's out the way, right? Because we're talking about fitness, right? But I can't talk about that without talking about the nutrition, because the nutrition is 80% of the game, right? If you're not working on those nutritional habits, you're going to continue to have an uphill battle when you're looking to create new results, especially getting rid of this back fat, but anywhere in your body, because your nutrition outweighs everything, right? So now when it comes to getting rid of this back fat, you gotta start doing back exercises. And guess what? Yes, you cannot spot train, right? There is no such thing as spot training, but you can focus on a particular muscle group more than another, right? What does that mean? That means that you can work it out 2 or 3 times per week. As long as you're spacing it out within 24 hours of each other, you can do that. So one of the first things for you to do to create some more efficient and effective results is do your back work 2 or 3 times per week, right? All depends on what you can commit to. You want to spend a good 30 minutes minimally working on this back work that you're doing. Now, here's your tip that goes along with that, right? That's part A. Part B is you can't do the same exercises each workout, right? And so what do I mean by that? That means that, let's say, for instance, you're like, all right, cool. You know what? I'm going to do some dumbbell rows with a neutral grip. Right? Because guess what? Every time you change the grip, and that's going to be the next tip, every time you change the grip, it makes a difference. So you're going to do a dumbbell row, right? Neutral grip like this. Dumbbell rows. Obviously, I would be on a bench or something like that, right? You're like, boom. All right, cool. Now I'm going to do some lat pull downs, right? And I'm going to have my hands really wide, and I'm going to do some lat pull downs like this. Boom, I'm working on that back, right? Yes. And then, you know what else? I'm going to do some seated rows, right? Where you're going to be sitting on a machine or using some bands or some cables, right? And you're going to have your hands like this and you're like, boom. All right, great. Yes, I'm going to do that. And then you might get a little fancy, right? And get some upper back and some rear delt work. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to go on the pec fly machine, right? That also does the rear back and it shows you the muscle groups. Great thing about when you go to a gym, when you use the machines, they have a diagram of the muscle groups that it helps, right? And it hits. And so you get on that machine and you're like, okay, cool. I'm getting it. Boom. And so that was your workout. Let's just say you did those 4 exercises, right? I'm not going to go into reps and sets. I want you to try to figure that out or holler at me and we can talk about that, right? But then you do that on Monday and then you say, okay, you know what, Wednesday, all right, Mr. Body said, let me take at least 24 hours. Wednesday, I'm going to go hit back again. And you do the same exercises. And then you're like, you know what, listen, I'm feeling good this week. I'm going to go on Friday too. And I'm going to do back. And you do the same exercises. Well, guess what? Your body is going to adapt. And then you're not going to really get the benefits from the exercises. And you're just going to be going through the motions, right? And so you got to start to create some variation. One of the easiest ways of creating variation that I share with people is, you know what, you can use a particular type of apparatus and work through your muscle groups for that. So we're talking about back, right? What do I mean? Let's just say, you know what, on Monday, you're only going to use machines, right? There's usually a ton of back machines, at least a good 5, right? Back machines in most gyms, right? And so you're like, you know what? Monday, I'm gonna use all the machines for my back work. And then the next time, whether you're going once a week, twice a week, or 3 times a week, the next time that you go and hit back, don't use any machines, right? Now you can say, you know what, I'm going to do some cable work, right? Boom. So now all the back work that you're using is using cables. Guess what? Because you're using cables and not machines, you're going to be working different muscle fibers in your back, which is going to produce a better result. The best way to be more efficient and effective with your results is making sure that you're getting all the areas, all the muscle fibers in that particular muscle group. The easiest way to do that is to have variation in the exercises that you are doing, right? And so using machines is one thing, using cables is a whole nother thing. Plus, you're probably going to have to create some different exercises, different movements. Again, that's going to target different muscle fibers. So that's your next thing. Then the next time you go and you say, okay, cool, I'm gonna do back, only use dumbbells, right? Boom. I'm only gonna use dumbbells for this back work that I'm about to get in. Now, here's what the other thing is. If you don't know a lot of exercises for each of those things, now you get to start asking a professional. Now you can invest in somebody to create a plan for you, or you can go on YouTube and Google different back exercises using any of those 3 things that I mentioned. But guess what? I'm gonna give you two more bonus ones, right? You can use barbells. Barbells are gonna be a little bit different than the dumbbells, right? So you got to go barbells. Boom, only barbells. Your last one, right? You know, there's hammer strength machines. Now this is, you know, a bonus because not every gym has the hammer strength machines, but they are different than the cable loaded machines, right? Different exercises, different muscle fibers that they hit, right? Now here's your last bit when it comes to creating that variation, right? AKA muscle confusion. Now, all right, cool. You're like, all right, cool. I went through that. I had my machine day. I had my cable day. I had my dumbbell day. I had my barbell day. I had my hammer strength day. Now what? Well, you could go back and repeat the cycle, or now you can choose one of the exercises from each of those different types. So you can take one from the machines, one from the cables, one from the dumbbells, one from the barbells, one from the hammer strength. Now it's a whole different workout. You see, this is why you see a lot of fitness folk, right, getting a lot of great results, because they understand how to create variation in their workouts. They're not repeating the same workout every time they go to the gym, right? Most people, especially like myself, my plan is fluid in the sense of when I get into the gym, I know what muscle group I want to work, or muscle groups that I want to work, or if I'm doing total body, great, right? I have an idea of the exercises that I want to do. But here's the thing. If what I want is not available when it's time for me to get on it, I got to make an adjustment. Because I'm not going to stand there and wait for that exercise, for that machine or dumbbell or barbell or whatever it is to be ready. And so I'm going to adjust. I'm going to be fluid. I'm going to move on to something else. And then I may come back to that. So that's something that you got to get. You know what? Pre-COVID, I'd be like, hey, can I work in with you? If I really wanted to get it in then, I'd be like, hey, can I work in with you nowadays? You know, you might not want to do all of that. You might want to wait a little bit. Cool, no problem, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to start to create some variation in working it. Now, here's the last bit that I need for you to get, right? Second to last bit, because I just feel like giving today, right? And again, to get these results, you don't need the luck of the Irish. You don't need the luck of the Irish to get rid of your back fat, right? And so here's the other piece that I want you to get. You also, right, now again, I just gave you some different things. Remember when I was talking about this dumbbell row? I'm going to use lat pull down, right, because it's easier for you to see my hands, right? I talk about going wide. Guess what? Every time you move your hands in, right, I'm going to back up a little bit. Every time you move your hands in, if you change your palms to facing this way, going this way, if you use a straight bar and hold it out on the sides like this, if you use a small grip T-bar, right, and hold it like this, guess what? each of those hand placements, each of those different things that you clip to the lat pull down machine is going to work different muscle fibers. All of those are different exercises, right? So just with the lat pull down, you can have 3 hand placements this way. That's 3 different moves. You can have 2 this way. That's 2 different moves. You can change the bar to go to a straight bar. That's another move. You can change the bar to go to a T or a triangle bar. That's another move. It works for the seated row. Guess what? On machines, right? They typically have more than one grip for your hands to go. Every time you get on the machine, use a different grip. It's going to change the muscle fibers that are activated. That's how you get better results. Here's the last bit for you, right? As you're working, as you're getting stronger, as you're continuing this progress, right? You got to gradually increase the weight. Now, I want to say that it's not going to make you look extra bulky or extra manly or make your muscles like, ha, right? Because that's what a lot of people think. Here's what's going to happen. You get stronger, you have to continue to challenge the muscles in order to continue the results train. If you don't continue to challenge your muscles, the results train stops. Challenge is your fuel for new results for your train. Okay? I'm going to say that again. The more challenge that you continue to give your muscle groups, the more fuel you're putting in your results train that's ultimately going to get you to the destination of new results. You got to understand that. So you can't be using the same weight 30 days from now that you started with. You're doing something wrong if you did. And your results train is probably not going how you want it to, right? But that's all I'm giving you. I got it. That's it. I'm going. It's your boy, Mr. Body. If you got some value in this video, feel free to hit the share button, tag somebody that needs to hear this message, invite somebody to come and watch this video so that they can give you the same value that you just got, and go out there and get rid and melt that back fat away.